Okay. You refer us to page 99.
Yes.
To the agreement between Whitefish, Seaflower Whitefish Corporation Ltd. and Novanam.
That's correct.
In terms of that agreement, what was provided for in clause 2.1? 2.1.
Paragraph 2.1. Seaflower hereby grants Novanam the right to utilize 1,200 metric tons, and Novanam endeavors to catch the full metric tons of hake weight.
And in paragraph 3?
In paragraph 3, which is under consideration, heading consideration, in consideration of the right granted to it in terms of clause 2, Novanam shall compensate Seaflower as follows: 2,600 Namibian dollars per metric ton of hake weight quotas as usage fee, excluding VAT, quota fees, and levies, and payable upon presentation of a tax invoice.
Okay. And was that agreement signed?
Yes, the agreement was signed on the 18th of June 2014 at Lideris, signed by Mr. Mike Nipunya, acting CEO, Seaflower Whitefish Corporated Limited, and on behalf of Novanam Ltd, it was signed by Mr. Jose.
Okay. Your Lordship, the request for the agreement to be marked as an exhibit.
This is the agreement referred to in paragraph 26.1
of the affidavit.
Yeah.
Yes, Your Lordship, I believe it is under paragraph 26.
Okay. Z20.
As it is the court. All right, Mr. Kanyangela, from page 108. To page 179. There are documents there with reference to invoices issued. Do you recognize those documents?
From page 108, since we are having to 108.
Excuse me?
Since we are having to 108.
Oh, okay. No, the next one where the invoices start.
Okay, page 108 is the invoice from Wanakadu Investments CC to Deep Ocean Processors Pty Ltd, dated 9 January 2017, with the description: consulting fees for the first 6 months of 2017, January to June, units Namibian dollars, units Namibian dollars 183,333.34 cents Namibian dollars. Subtotal 1,100,000 Namibian dollars.
Okay. I just want to find out in general, have you had an opportunity to peruse these invoices contained herein?
Yes, I have perused the invoices.
Okay. Which entities issued these invoices?
There were invoices from Wanakado Investment CC. There were invoices from Wanyemba Investment Trust. There were invoices from I didn't just recall the name. Wanakado, Wanyemba, and Fine Seafood.
Oh, okay. You've already referred to the witness statement in this particular case. Are these the invoices referred to as the third-party invoices?
That's correct, the invoices.
Okay. Now, in relation to these invoices, which appear in the bundle from page 108 to page 179, from Wanakado, Kwajembe Investment Trust, and Fine Seafood. From your investigations, were any services rendered to these entities indicated in the invoices?
There was no service rendered by the entities.
Okay. Your Lordship, we've extensively dealt with these invoices with the accused persons under cross-examination. I do not intend to regurgitate what is written in these invoices. Your Lordship, the state to request for the bundle of invoices to be submitted as exhibits from page 108 to...
Maybe if we can just identify the invoices that we... That's one on, it's invoice of... Were they not handed up when Mr. Mapopi was testifying?
No, Your Lordship. I think we just went through them with the witnesses. Okay. They were not submitted just to avoid that situation where we would have so many different exhibits, because then we have to remove these from the file. Oh. Yes, Your Lordship.
Okay, it's an invoice, it's a tax invoice. If you can run through them so that we... You see, when people cross-examine and when the court, one must be able to refer to a specific document. So
yes,
it's best we just identify the documents, we know what has gone in, rather than handing in a bundle.
As it pleases the court, we can do that.
Yeah.
Okay, you've identified the first one at page 108.
You should just mention one for so much money.
Yes, yeah, those will be Z21.
The purpose is also important.
All right, and for the next one?
Z21.
For the first invoice?
Yeah.
As it pleases the court.
Z21 Roman 1. Yes.
All right, and then the next one we can go to page 100 and if you just take us to the next page, just identify the document and where you received that document.
Okay, on the page 109, it's an email. This document was submitted by Mr. Hussein when he gave his statement. It's an email from Wanakado Investment with email address wanakado2016 @gmail.com, dated 4th January 2017 to Jose Ramon Canosa. Subject: invoice for payment. attachment invoice for GOP. Then the email reads as follows. Dear Joseph, herewith attached, please to receive the invoice for processing as soon as possible. Regards, Wanakabi Investment.
Okay. I thought with the witness has gone through, he doesn't have, what I just wanted is to him to identify the document that is being submitted. He doesn't have to read through everyone.
Okay.
Just identify the document, what it is, where you got it, and we mark it as an exhibit. So that will be Z21, Roman 2.
As it plays a court.
Next document.
The next document is an email from Jose Joaquim Rodriguez to Jose Ramon Canosa, copied to Mike Nyepunya, subject invoice.
Okay.
This document, this email was for the 4th of January 2017, and the document was obtained from Mr. Jose.
All right. Before you,
21, Roman 3.
before you proceed, these documents, until page 179, all these documents, where were they obtained?
They were obtained from Novana.
Okay. All right. I think if you go through the documents now, it's not necessary for you to keep repeating the source of these documents. We know it's one source. You can just identify the documents. And the next one?
The next one is an invoice.
Which is it, page 111?
111.
Yeah, it's the same invoice as on page 108. You can skip that one.
Yes, it's the same.
Yes.
Yes, skip it.
The next document is an invoice from Wanakadu Investment, invoice number 2017-005, dated 6 June 2017. Issued to Deep Ocean Processor Pty Ltd.
That's Z21, Roman 4.
As it plays a court.
Document on page 113 is an invoice from Wanakadu, invoice number 2017-006, dated 21 August 2017.
Exhibit Z21, Roman 5.
The next document is an invoice from Wanakadu Investment, invoice number 2017-007, dated 21 December 2017.
Exhibit Z21, Roman 6.
The next document is an email The top part is written in a different language, which I cannot read. But the part 1 is indicating would be the email between Jose Ramon Canosa and between Joseph Joaquim Rodriguez. Of invoices of Wanakadu.
That's exhibit Z21, Roman 7.
Then page 117.
117 is an invoice from Wanyemba Investment Trust. Tax invoice number 2018-003, dated 2018-05-18.
Z21.
The next document.
Sorry for just. Roman 8. Yes.
The next document is an email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 24 May 2018 to Mike Ngipunyo, with the subject invoice and attachment invoice.
Z21 Roman 9.
The next document is an invoice of Wanyamba Investment Trust, invoice number 2018-003.
Isn't it the same as that on page? Is it?
Page 117 is it.
Yeah,
It's the same.
yeah. So
All right,
skip
let's
it.
skip it.
The next document is the email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 24 May 2018.
On which page are you?
Page 120.
Page 120. Okay, sorry. Yes, sorry.
The subject, GIT proof of payment, Wanyamba, attachment, indicate Wanyamba.
That's exhibit Z21, Roman 10.
Yes.
The next document is a reprint customer all payments interim audit report, which indicating the username is Gender Fishing Pty Ltd, and indicate an amount paid to Wanyamba Investment Trust. He is also having the name of Deep Ocean Processor in the amount of 575,000 Namibian dollars.
Exhibit Z21, Roman 11.
The next document is an invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust, invoice number 2019-001, dated 29/11/2018 to Deep Ocean Processors Pty Ltd.
Z21, Roman 12.
The next document is an email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 12 December 2018 to Mike Ngipunyo. Subject POP Wanyamba Investment Trust.
Okay.
Z21, Roman 13.
And page 125.
125 is a standard bank document with the payment summary final report, final audit report, carrying the name of Gender Fishing, as well as Deep Ocean Process, and Wanyamba Investment Trust is also appearing on the document. The next document.
Okay, just hold on.
That's Roman 21.
14.
Z,
14, Your Lordship.
yeah, sorry. It's Z21, Roman 14.
Yes, it was.
Yes, proceed.
The next document is a tax invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust. Invoice number 2019-03, dated 26 March 2019, to Deep Ocean Processors Pty Ltd. The next document is an email.
Just hold on. Let us mark this.
Z21, Roman 15.
15. As it plays a court.
The next document is an email from Wanyamba Investment Trust. Email address gittrust17@gmail.com, dated 26 March 2019, to Jose Ramon Canosa, with the subject invoices for payment.
As this, I think there should be 16.
Yes, Z Roman 21. Z21, exhibit Z21, Roman 16.
You can go to page 129. 128 is a repetition of 126. Uh, 129.
129. 129 is a tax invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust. Invoice number 2019-04, dated 26 March 2019, made to Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd.
Okay.
Z21, Roman 17.
The next document is an email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 26 March 2019, to Wanyamba Investment Trust, with the subject invoices for payment.
Z21, Roman 17.
And the next document?
It's the same as the one on page 129. No, I'm incorrect.
Yes.
Come back even before. Anyways, my learned friend's examination, one does not want to interrupt more than is necessary. But let's go back to Exhibit Roman Z21, Roman letter 17. We have already looked at this document. I don't know if my learned friends can make sense of
the tax invoice.
No, not the tax invoice. The tax invoice, we have already dealt with it. It's already, but I'm talking about the text of the email.
Which one is it?
JR 106 at the top, handwritten page 130.
Oh, that's Roman 20.
It will be Roman 21.
It should be 18 on it.
No, Roman 18, yes,
Yeah,
Roman
not,
18.
Not 17.
Yes, my lord. But now looking at it, if we look at the first 3 lines, I don't know if that is a language that is an official language of this court that we can understand.
JR 106.
Yes, my lord. There is invoices for payment, which is the subject. And just below there, it's okay, take TKS and then SIDSJR, whatever that may mean. And we are adopting this as an exhibit. What is?
It's an invoice from Jose Roman Canosa to Wanyamba Investment Trust.
It's very strange. Wanyamba Investment Trust sends an invoice to this gentleman, and he also sends an invoice to himself. you know,
It's good that you are raising it.
yes.
Your issue is whether one can make sense of it or not.
Yes, my lord, of the text
yeah.
message, and also the invoice, we'll deal with it later on, but perhaps we can be
That's
assisted by...
abbreviated language that's used there.
Yes, that's why I was saying, is this even if it's what it all, is it even a language of this honorable court? Will my learned friend bring an interpreter for us to understand this very advanced communication of social interaction? Perhaps he could help.
Your Lordship, insofar as these emails are concerned, we are primarily concerned with the attachments, the invoices. This is the evidence or the documents in the state's position that the state intends to lead a trial.
Okay.
That is the purpose of producing this document. Obviously, witnesses will come and explain in detail all these documents being submitted to the court.
Are you happy, Mr. Patala?
I'm not happy, my lord, but I hear him.
You can live with it.
I'll wait, my lord, up until the right moment. This is the court.
Yes.
But then we are creating, serious overburdening of the record. If we will look at the email that doesn't say much, and then we go and have another annexure or exhibit, which is already before court, and also mark it. I mean, my learned friends can do that. It complicates our work, but it's not different from the invoice of... All right.
Sorry, no, can I ask something? Whoever wants to speak, I'll give you an opportunity. Between legal practitioners, I'm not going to allow it. So if you want to address something you say, you stand up, I'll give you an opportunity to speak.
Is the court please?
Yeah. Okay.
So, my lord, I was pointing out that I'm having a fear that the
record is unnecessarily
being burdened, but I'm told that I'm way off the park on that aspect because the invoice is different. So perhaps I should just sit down and wait up until they have dealt with the issues.
Right.
Yes, please, issue.
Okay, we have stopped at JR 106, that's Roman 21, that's Exhibit Z21, Roman 18.
And the next document is a tax invoice, Wanyamba Investment Trust, invoice number 2019-004, dated 29 April 2019, to Deep Ocean Processors Pty Ltd.
Exhibit Z21, Roman 19.
The next document is a tax invoice for Nyemba Investment Trust, invoice number 2019-005, dated 29 May 2019, to Deep Ocean Processors Pty Ltd.
Z21, Roman 20.
The next document is an email from Wanyamba Investment Trust, dated 29 May 2019, to Jose Ramon Canosa, with the subject invoices for payment.
Exhibit Z21, Roman 22.
You can skip 134, it's a repetition of 132. Page 135.
Page 135 is a tax invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust to Deep Ocean Processor Pty Ltd. Invoice number 2019-006, dated 29 May 2019.
Z Roman 21. Exhibit Z21, Roman 23.
The next document is a tax invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust, invoice number 2019-06, dated 29 May 2019, to Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd.
Z21, Roman 24.
The next document, it seems, is a duplicate. Of tax invoice number 2019-006, that is on page 135.
Yes. So is the email?
So is the email, my lord.
Yes. Next.
The invoice is also similar to the other one.
Next.
On which page are you now?
We are at page 40, 140. But we just want to confirm. Because it seems we can deal with this one also 19005. We just. There is a difference with the other one I was thinking of. But the invoice number and the date is the same, as well as the amount.
This is the invoice on page 140.
The invoice of 140 and the invoice of 132.
Yeah. They appear to me to be duplicates. And they are all consultancy service from me. Next.
Next is invoice on page 141. This invoice, it looks also similar to the invoice on page 136. Having the same invoice number as well as the date.
Yes. Next.
And the next invoice is an invoice which is on page 142. It's an invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust. Tax invoice number 2019-007, dated 16 July 2019, to Deep Ocean Processors Pty Ltd.
Roman Z21, Roman 25.
The next document is an email from Wanyamba Investment Trust, dated 16 July 2019, to Jose Ramon Canosa, subject invoices for payment.
An emailer. Which page are you?
143.
How do you go from 144 to 143? You're going backwards.
What?
You were at page 144. Now I'm going forward, 145.
144.
Were you at page 144 or 142?
Maybe it was a mistake when we were perusing back.
There's also a duplication there.
Sorry?
There's a duplication 144 and 142.
I marked the invoice on page 144, that's JR120. I've marked it as Z21, Roman 25.
As it plays a court, no, it's fine. I think we can mark that and then ignore the one at page 142.
Yeah.
As it plays a court.
The next invoice on page 145 is a tax invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust to Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd. Invoice number 2019-07, dated 16 July 2019.
Z21, Roman 26.
The next document is an invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust, invoice number 2018-002, dated 18 May 2018, to Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd.
Z21, Roman 26.
I think it should be 27, Your Lordship.
Oh yeah, yeah, right. Roman 27.
The next document is an invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust, invoice number 2018-004, dated 9 August 2018, to Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd.
Exhibit Z21,
It should be 28.
Roman 28.
The next document is an email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 22 November 2018, to Francois Argentina Isaacs, subject tax invoices, attachment invoice to Skeleton Coast,
Okay. So this will be Z2129, Your Lordship.
Yeah. Roman 29.
I think the next one you can skip. It's a duplication at page 149 and 147. And 150.
150 is a tax invoice, invoice number 2018-010, dated 14 November 2018, to Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd. from Wanyamba Investment Trust.
That's exhibit Z21, Roman 30.
As it plays a court. You can then move on to page, I think, 152.
Which one?
52, Your Lordship.
52.
Page 152 is an email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 22 November 2018, to Mike Nipunya, subject GIT.
That's JR what? Because
JR128.
okay. That's Z21, Roman 31.
As it plays a court.
The next document is an invoice, invoice number 2018-010, and it looks like a duplicate of 100 of the invoice of page 150. They are having the same invoice number as well as the date. And
Yes.
to the same company.
Yes, you can just skip to page 156.
Where are you, Mr.?
Page 156. The other invoices at page 150.
Is it JR 128? That's the last invoice. That's the last exhibit I marked.
JR 129 and JR 126 and JR 1.
Those are repetitions,
30.
it appears.
Yes, they are all. I just request the witness to go to JR 132.
Yes.
Just want to confirm. Okay, the document GR132 is a tax invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust, invoice number 2019-05, dated 29 April 2019, to Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd.
That's exhibit Z21, Roman 32.
As it is a court. And on the next page,
The next page
page 158.
Page 158. Okay, page 158 is an email from Wanyamba Investment Trust, dated 29 May 2019, to Jose Ramon Canosa, with the subject invoices for payment.
Exhibit Z21, Roman 33.
Yes, Lordship.
The next document on page 159.
Okay, I think that is a repetition of 157. Let me just make sure. Yes, it's a repetition. You can just move on.
The document on page 160, it seems it's also
it's
a
a
repetition
yeah.
of the document on page 140.
Okay, 161.
161. Okay, the document on page 161 is also a repetition of the document on page 139.
Right, and 162.
Okay, the document on 162 is a tax invoice. Invoice number 2019-07, dated 16 July 2019, to Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd from Wanyamba Investment Trust.
That exhibit Z 21. Roman 34.
As it is the court.
The next document is an email from Wanyamba Investment Trust, dated 16 July 2019, to Jose Ramon Canosa, with the subject invoices for payment.
Z21, Roman 35.
The next one, you can skip that. And 165, you can also skip that. It's a repetition of 144. 166.
The next document is a tax invoice from Wanyamba Investment Trust. Invoice number 2019-1101, dated 1st November 2019, to Deep Ocean Processors Pty Ltd.
Exhibit Z21, Roman 36.
The next document is an email from Wanyamba Investment Trust, dated 30 October 2019, to Jose Ramon Canosa, subject invoices for payment.
Z21, Roman 37.
The next document seems it's a duplicate. But there's one which is written in pen. Possible we can just go ahead also with this one.
Which one are you referring to? J or what?
The one I was referring to is GR142 and GR144. They have the same invoice number, but one is handwritten.
Yeah, no, you can skip this one.
Yes, next.
Okay, the next document is a tax invoice. Invoice number 2019-1102 from Wanyamba Investment Trust, dated 1st November 2019, to Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd.
Z21, Roman 38.
The next document is an email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 30 October 2019, to Wanyamba Investment Trust, subject invoices for payment.
Yes, Z21, Roman 39.
The next document is an email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 7 November 2018, to Wanyemba Investment Trust, copied to Wanyemba Investment Trust and Jose Ramon Canosa.
As it plays a court.
21 Roman 40.
As it plays a court.
The next document is an email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 6 November 2018, to Wanyemba Investment Trust.
Z21 Roman 41.
You can skip 173. I think 175 as well, we dealt with that. 176. I think that is also dealt with. At 176.
176.
There's another one.
176 is a duplicate
Okay.
of the one on 173.
Right. All right. And then at 177.
177 is a tax invoice from Fine Seafood. Tax invoice number 001/2019, dated 8 November 2019, to Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd.
Exhibit Z 21 Roman 42.
The next document is an email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 6 November 2019, to Wanyemba Investment Trust, with the subject last invoices of beneficiation fees 2018-2019.
Z21 Roman 43.
The next document is an email from Jose Ramon Canosa, dated 7 November 2019, to Wanyemba Investment Trust, with the subject last invoices of beneficiation fees 2018-2019.
Z21 Roman 44.
As it says the court.
The next document.
Okay, before you proceed, from your investigations, these invoices that were issued by Wanyemba Investment Trust, Wanakadu, and Fine Seafood CC, to the entities indicated in the invoices? Were any services rendered to justify these invoices being issued?
There was no service rendered.
Okay. And at page 180?
Page 180 is a document which is a signature card. This document, we obtained it from First National Bank on the account of Fine Seafood Close Corporation, CC.
And who are the signatories to that bank account?
The signatories on this bank account is Samuel Hidishangi Israel, Othniel Nandetonga Shudifonya, and Mike Nipunya.
Oh, okay. Is there a request for that document to be submitted as an exhibit?
Exhibit Z, 21, Roman 45.
All right. If you could take us to page 265 of that document. Are you there?
Yes, I'm there.
What is contained on that document?
What is on this document is an agreement of consultation services entered into between Skeleton Coast Rolling Pty Ltd and Wanyemba Investment Trust.
And who provided you with this document?
This document was provided to us by Novana. It came with the documents of Novana when they came to give a statement.
Oh, okay. Is that the same document referred to in paragraph 40 that you read earlier on of Mr. Kambano's statement?
Yes, correct, is the same document referred to.
Oh, okay. Your Lordship, I'm not sure if this document was marked as an exhibit. I believe Mr. Patela had used it.
I have so many files. Mr. Patela, can you recall? I seem not to find my file with the exhibit. According to my record, the document has not been admitted as an exhibit.
As it plays a court, Your Lordship, then the request for it to be marked as an exhibit.
That will be exhibit Z.
I think it should be 20.
No, it's Z21, 40 something.
Is it not Z22
No, it's Z21.
for the agreement?
Oh, okay. The agreement is Z22.
As it plays a court, Your Lordship.
Exhibit Z22.
As it plays a court. From your investigations, any payments to these third-party entities, Fine Seafood, Gwanyeme Investment Trust, and Wanakadu, were they utilized for governmental objectives?
The payments was not utilized for government objectives. It was utilized for the accused personal benefits or the personal use.
Oh, okay. All right. You also mentioned something about Loki.
That's correct.
What were your investigations regarding Loki investments?
Low-key investments is also a company which was given quotas by Fishrot sea flour, quotas from the government objective quotas, we approached the management of Loki. We got interview with Mr. Luis Fernandez of Loki. He provided a statement which he did through his legal representative. And with the statement, he also provided us documents to support his statement.
Okay. Are you in possession of his witness statement?
Yes, I'm in possession of it.
Your Lordship, state request to refer the statement of Mr. Perez. It's a thick statement.
Oh, the affidavit of Jose Ramon.
Just
Your Lordship, the state request for that to be submitted as an exhibit.
Which one are you referring? I'm asking, is it this one you are referring to?
No, I'm not referring to that one, but with respect to the affidavit of Mr. Kamano, the one that we dealt with earlier on, the state just request for that to be submitted as an exhibit. I'll do the other statement now of Mr.
That's
Perez.
exhibit what? Exhibit?
I think should be
Z23
Z23. Yes, Your Lordship. The statement I'm referring to is of Mr. Jose Perez.
Oh, okay.
It's a thick.
This big one.
Yes, Your Lordship.
Maybe before you proceed. Yes, Mr.
And it may be that it was given to my attorneys, but I do not have a copy of that statement that my learned friend has
Is
just
it the one of
referred to.
Kamani?
That have been given this morning.
Or you are referring to the one of Perez?
Yes.
Okay. Before we, yeah. But I just want one question. Are you done with the statement of Mr. Kamano, or are you coming back to it?
We are done with that.
Mr. Patela, I thought very hard over this. That statement has been handed in as it is. Right? The statement of Mr. Kamano. So it is before court as a full document. My sense of fairness, my understanding of fairness simply tells me that in that statement, and because I'm raising this with, because one of the grounds on which the state is also objecting to bail is that there is a risk of interference with the investigations or with the matter, with the testimony. Now, I don't know if you go to that statement, paragraph 47. So that at least one is for one, you need to deal with it. So I just can't leave it hanging. Mr. Lutibeti, do you want to deal with it, or do I, if you are not dealing with it, the other party doesn't get an opportunity to deal with it, I'll discard it.
As it is a court, Your Lordship, I was under the impression we had dealt with it with Mr. Nipunya.
No, he hasn't been confronted with it at all. That's why I'm raising it. I have no recollection, and I checked my notes where he was confronted with it.
Oh, yes, I see. I think I was confronted regarding the payments.
Yeah.
Oh, yes, no. Thank you, Your Lordship. I think just on one last aspect on that, Mr. Kanyangela, this particular witness, under paragraph 47 to 49 of that statement, what did the witness provide to you? Not provide. What did the witness state in the statement? What is stated in the statement?
The witness.
Sorry,
Maybe
before
Mr. Kanyangela deals with it. Well, look, my client was in the witness box. And the state, to the extent necessary, asked him all the questions that they thought and they believed were relevant to his case. This was not one of them. And of course, it will be quite difficult when he is no longer on the stand, when the state is leading his case, to introduce adverse and prejudicial information which they did not confront that witness with. We looked at this statement and the questions that they had asked when they were leading the evidence. They were dealing with the payments, etc. That's why we said, we'll let it slide. But insofar as any matter now that goes into these areas is very prejudicial to my client, and it raises quite some adverse, impact. And we suggest that the state, with the greatest respect, should desist from leading evidence on this, because they did not give my client the opportunity to do so. And
yes, as I said, Mr. Patela, I thought very hard of it when I saw it. But
yes,
let me first give Mr.
Yes, but in addition, my lord, there is a lot of information that is being introduced to the court as exhibits. One may not necessarily stop the introduction of the document, but the veracity of what is contained in there and the way that has to be placed will also have to, to be at the back of our minds when we argue or when we confront each other's witnesses. But this area, my lord, I don't think the court, and I suggest that the court should not allow them to lead any testimony in this regard because of the adverse nature of this testimony.
Your Lordship, I see the concern here is that this was not put to their client. What I can recall is that there were versions from this. There were some versions from these paragraphs. I don't know where we started, but we know there were payments which were also being made, which I also referred to under the paragraphs which we referred to. We'll look at the record and see exactly where we started with confronting the accused with this version. But insofar as the complaint is concerned that this was not put to the accused person, Mr. Ngimpunya, that does not preclude such evidence from being laid at this moment before the court. But what happens at the end of the day is for the court to decide what weight to attach to that evidence if it was not put to the accused person. That is the legal. There are many cases on that, there's Small versus Smith and amongst other cases.
What worries me? What worries me? That's why I say, at times, some of these issues are value judgments. For one judge, fairness. But to me, and this document is as it is,
yes,
has been admitted into evidence. When I sit alone and I read these documents without you being there, and it's a document that's before me. I'm bound to take consideration of it.
Yes, Your Lordship.
And there is evidence that's prejudicial that hasn't been placed to the other party. So that's why I raise it before we move to see the way forward. As regards the objection, if it was a civil trial, I was going to rule in favor of Mr. Patela and say, Mr. Ngimpunya will never come back to that box. He will never get an opportunity to deal with those allegations. So I'm not going to allow it. I'll expunge it from the record. I have read authorities and I've heard authorities that are saying a criminal trial is not a game of chance whereby one tries to score more goals than another. It's an adventure to find fairness and justice and to deal with justice. If you do, I will give Mr. Ngimpunya an opportunity. I'll recall him back to the stand, and he will deal with it to get an opportunity to be confronted with those adverse allegations that he was never confronted with.
As you please the court, Your Lordship.
Mr. Patela, that's what I intend to do.
But this is quite difficult because a bail application, is not purely a criminal application. It's also not
purely civil.
A civil it's
but it affects a person's rights.
Yes, my lord.
Yeah.
Yes. So I know his lordship's preliminary observations. I need to apply my mind a little bit to think a little bit because it's quite a complex.
What I can rule is
yes,
that
my lord.
For now, what I'm going to rule is for now, let's put it on hold. If the state still, towards the end, if the state still want to lead that portion and for me to have regard to it, they can then ask questions. But as I am saying, I'll give Mr. Ngimpunya an opportunity to come back into the box and deal with those adverse. If he doesn't get that opportunity, I will make a ruling that I'm expunging it. I'm not going to take it into consideration.
I mean, that to his lordship, my lord.
Yes.
Lord, I know this matter doesn't concern me, but it is a matter that your Lordship raised, I think, with both my learned friends, and I must express a concern about perhaps not exactly what your Lordship has said, but about the possible use of the documents at the stage of argument. Your Lordship will recall that the approach that my learned friends initially adopted is they wanted this file to be placed on record. And I and then my learned friends objected to that and said that we won't know what is on the record until the evidence on those issues have been laid. Now, the state has used some of the documents, and to the extent that it has used documents, it has referred in the evidence through the witness to some of those documents only. Now, Lord, I just take the issue, and it doesn't concern me, I place that on record. But if, for example, the issue of Mr. Kamano's affidavit matters are not raised through the witness, I, having not been here and having not been party to the rest of the things, am entitled, unless it was properly raised, to assume that your Lordship would not take into account matters that were not raised properly through the witnesses, and not only through this witness. So the point I make, my Lord, is that if your Lordship is saying that because these documents have been admitted, your Lordship would be entitled to have regard to them.
No. Okay. You see, remember when you started, it's the whole file. And then we said we will go document by document. Now, here is an affidavit.
Yes.
It's a whole affidavit.
No.
It's being handed in.
Yes.
The whole issue is not being dealt with. It's just selective paragraphs of that.
Yes.
And as I was going through it, I saw information that has not been dealt with, and which is adverse to one of the parties. That's why I have raised it.
No, indeed, my Lord.
Yeah.
And that's the only point I make, my Lord, that the approach your Lordship has adopted is the appropriate and proper approach. I say that with respect, my Lord.
Yeah. So all that I'm saying, a document that goes in, and I'm making this point now, if an issue has not been dealt with in that document, I am not going to have regard to it. I'm going to have regard to issues that have been dealt with in the document. But why I raised this one is because that whole document was handed in, and it contains some very adverse information about one of the applicants.
As my Lord.
As the court places, my Lord.
Yeah.
Your Lordship, I see it's also almost lunchtime. We just want to request the court for an adjournment at this stage. We also just want to ascertain to what extent we dealt with some of these paragraphs which are listed in this document.
Yes. Then it's 10 to 1. I'll attempt for us to start at 2 o'clock then, instead of 2:15. So the 10 minutes that we are losing now, so we make them up at 2 o'clock. If we can start at 2.
Yes, my Lord, please.
Instead of 2:15.
As it is the court, Your Lordship.
Court will rise.